Hey guys, so here is a video to support you whether you're at home or just if you need more information and practice for something that we started in some of my classes this week, August 4th, August 30th through September 3rd. It was called Identify Literary Elements in 7th grade. But we didn't finish it or review it in any class. So we're going to continue this in week 5, which is September 7th, 10th. So if you happen to be on an extended absence during that time, you can use this video to help yourself get caught up. So you would open Identify Literary Elements in 7th grade, and you will have this slide deck that has 6 slides in it, okay? The first slide is just the title slide. The second slide has a list of all the literary elements that happen to show up in the short story 7th grade. You don't need to do anything with slide 2. It's just a list, okay? Now, slide 3, mine's blank, but yours has information on it. Yours has examples of these literary elements. So it has the climax for 7th grade. It has falling action for 7th grade. So you'll see a list of things here. What you're going to do is you're going to cut and paste out the examples from slide 3 onto slides 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we're going to go through it together. So for the climax of this story of 7th grade is when Teresa asks Victor if he'll help her with her French. The internal conflict is Victor versus himself. Remember, internal means inside and conflict is the problem that is happening in the story. A direct characterization, which remember, characterization is where a character is described, and direct is when the author specifically says something about that character. So the author tells us that Victor is embarrassed in the story. That is a direct characterization of Victor. An indirect characterization, an example of that is when Mr. Bueller is understanding because he did not call out Victor for pretending to know French. Right? We get that he's understanding because of that. It's an indirect characterization. Nobody told us. Okay, a round character, that's a character that is fully developed, is an example of that is Victor. Okay, and the opposite of that is flat character. That is a character that's not very well developed. I don't know if we have that on our list, but so it's round versus flat. Those are opposites. And a static character is very similar to a flat character. It's a character who, even if they are well developed, they don't change. They're static. They stay the same. So examples of that are Teresa and Mr. Bueller. The antagonist, which is like the force causing the problem in the story, is actually Victor. Victor is his own antagonist in the story, right? He's causing his own problems. Okay. Let's go to slide 5. So the falling action of this story, so remember the plot line goes exposition, which is background, rising action, that's where the conflict starts to come in, climax, that's the tipping point, the most exciting point, and then you have falling action and the resolution. So the falling action of this story is Victor goes to the library to check out 3 books on the French language, and the resolution is that he's going to like 7th grade. That's the ending of the story. He's going to like 7th grade. Okay, the point of view of this story, which means is it told from Victor's point of view, another person's point of view, and if it's from another person's point of view, does that person know everything about the characters or just a little bit? So in this case, an outside force is telling the story, so that's third person point of view, and it's limited omniscient, which means the narrator, the person telling the story, is not in the story, but they know some of what the characters are thinking and feeling, not everything. If they were fully omniscient, I mean, they'd know how every character's feeling, but they don't, so it's limited omniscient. Okay, the theme in this story, which is the message or the moral, is that it's worth embarrassing yourself if it gets you what you need. And Victor certainly did that, but he had a good outcome, right? He had a good outcome in that Teresa wants him to teach her French, and maybe she doesn't know he was fibbing. She does know, and she's not letting on. Either way, it worked out well for him. Will you help me with my French? That's dialogue that moves the story forward, because it's not just any old piece of dialogue, but it's like this is what gets us to the falling action or the climax, which is him getting what he wants, which is, time with Teresa. A dynamic character, again, that's someone opposite of static. It's a character who changes, they're dynamic. That's Victor. The genre is realistic fiction. So it's fiction, but it's very realistic. It could happen. Okay, slide 6. If we can. Oh my gosh, don't act up. Okay, there we go. Is flashback. Flashback is like when a character, when either a character or the narrator thinks of something in the past. So in this case, Mr. Bueller remembers trying to impress a girl in college. The mood, which is how the story makes you, the reader, feel, is fun and humorous. The exposition, which is we talked about in the plot line, the exposition is like the background, the beginning information in the story. And it's that Victor is going to the 7th grade and hopes to impress a girl named Teresa. That's the beginning, right? Okay, rising action, that's where the conflict comes in. Victor pretends to know French to impress Teresa, right? That's the conflict. And then finally, the protagonist, which is the good guy, the person we're rooting for, it's also Victor, even though he's also the antagonist. Sometimes that happens in life. So I hope this helped you. If you have questions, obviously you can message me. Use this video to help yourself complete this activity if you want, because it is due. It is an assignment. And yeah, I hope that helped. Bye.